You should have gave me time to load that on my soundboard.
All right, that is Captain Caleb McCumber. I'm John Lopez. This is the Bite Me podcast, and we'll get exactly to what he's talking about right there. I was going to do the same thing, Caleb, but I was running a little late today. I had a little post-show meeting on my day job, which, always stinks. But this is the Bite Me podcast. Captain Scott, my goodness, 3 weeks, going on 3 weeks. He's still over there. He may join us at some point today. But that dude deserves a medal for the work he's doing. If you haven't been paying attention and listening to every week of the podcast, he is still down in Center Point area in the hill country, doing God's work, rescuing bodies, rescuing people, artifacts, memorabilia, etc. So hopefully Scott joins us here in a little bit. Big show today. They're always fun. They're always good, and at least in my opinion, because of the guys that are sitting right in front of me, Captain Dean Thomas, Captain Kevin McCumber, and maybe Captain Scott will hop in at some point. But don't forget to subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Always start at Spotify. You can listen to all the podcasts there. But we've got stuff. We got incentives for our listeners over at Anglers Anonymous. We've got a petition that is very, very important. We've got great discussions about everything you need to know about iCast. We had boots on the ground, so to speak, in the form of Caleb McCumber at iCast. You could say I'm an only fan of iCast, basically, is what you could say. I'm a big only fan of iCast. We'll get to that maybe or maybe not. But you didn't think I was just going to leave that, did you? Anyway, this is the Bite Me podcast. You say it and it's in there. It's in my little pea brain and it just stays in there until it just comes out.
At least you haven't seen it because you can't unsee it either.
It just happens to come out. I guess that's why I'm in this business. But this is the Bite Me podcast. I'm going to get to all that stuff first. But, I actually thought of Captain Dean Thomas when I saw the news today that Ozzy Osbourne died because, Dean, I know you were like me, big concert goer. In your youth, did you see Black Sabbath? I saw them once, and it was before he peed on the Alamo and got banned from San Antonio.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I did see him once.
Yeah, I saw Black Sabbath, and then Ozzy many times, and then Black Sabbath without Ozzy. Yes, I was a child of the 80s, living in Houston, Texas, and back in the days of the Summit, we camped out for tickets and saw every band you could possibly name through that era from inside the first 10 rows. So that explains some things about my memory loss nowadays.
They call that secondary. They say secondhand.
And my lack of hearing as well.
Secondhand or firsthand, depends on how it goes.
They say those brain cells don't come back. And
our listeners may
they still rattle around in there, though.
They're in there somewhere at some point. But I didn't want to mention that. I know we were all, even Caleb's generation and after Caleb had a big connection with Ozzy Osbourne because of the reality show.
The reality show, hell, the first time I ever heard subwoofers in a truck, the first song I ever heard was Perry Mason. And I still jam that song, man. That sucker.
Yeah.
Back then, it was like this little amp the size of it was the size of a surfboard, but it had the power of your phone and like 2 8-inch speakers. But it made the mirrors jiggle. And man, at 11, 12 years old, that's the coolest thing I'd ever seen or heard in my life.
Mine was Paranoid. And by the way, as I often want to do, if you didn't think I was going to bring an Ozzy Osbourne connection to the Bite Me podcast, you don't know me well enough. Because I immediately thought, okay, Dean, how does this connect to the Bite Me podcast? Light bulb moment. I know exactly how this connects to the Bite Me podcast. And that is, I don't listen to music a lot when I'm fishing, but sometimes going out and sometimes going in, I'm blasting music. And it got me thinking, our listeners can weigh in on this too. If you're watching us live on YouTube, we appreciate that. We can get your comments live reaction. If you're listening on any of our podcast streams on any platform, you can text us with your thoughts or post on the group page on Facebook, which I encourage you to join. But my go-to when my kids were little, all right, I still do it now, just kind of ironically. We get ready to get kids on the boat. They're all in their 30s now. But anyway, get the kids on the boat, crank it up. And I put on Highway to the Danger Zone every time. I said, we're going fishing. Highway. Dun, 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 dun. I play that. I used to play that every single time. And Paranoid was in the rotation as well. So there's the tie-in to fishing. I know you guys have been rocking with some of these. What do you I don't think either of you fish with music just like me, because whatever, we're sickos about it. But did you have a similar song that you blast when you're heading out or coming back in?
Man, I don't have a particular one, but just anything that gets the blood flowing and gets you pumped up a little bit. Man, I'll scroll through the music list and pick one, and pull up to the marina, wake everybody up. It's time to get up. And the reason the younger generation is in touch with those people still, because classic rock was the best music ever made. That is why it still thrives to this day. That's why you see these little millennials running around with AC/DC t-shirts, Motley Crue, and those things, because it was the greatest music ever created on planet Earth, in the universe.
Just like on cue, I knew this would work with our listeners, because we all blast something. Caleb, I'm curious on you. Chef Gonzo says Stranglehold. Crazy Train came in a couple of times. AC/DC, Thunderstruck. What are you blasting when you're going out or coming in?
Highlight Jordan's comment right there. We listen to some South Park Mexican when I'm headed out.
Why not?
I'm Mexican. You know my name. Yeah. But hey, Crazy Train, you don't really hear it in the song, but those of us that grew up playing in bands and stuff, the hi-hat notes is like the perfect rhythm for like a quick topwater cadence. And oftentimes Crazy Train's going in my head while I'm working it, tick 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 tick.
Not
tick,
Mary Had a Little Lamb.
No, that's for people with their old slow wrist. I'm Crazy Training it over there. And just before you get toasted, I think John does know that Kenny Loggins is Danger Zone. He's saying that Ozzy was in the playlist with that, right, John?
Yes. Because obviously, who doesn't know? That's a perfect take the kids out fishing.
I have never clicked on some Black Sabbath and then had Kenny Loggins pop up.
But Danger Zone. Danger Zone's badass.
No, it's a classic.
Yeah. So there you go. See, I knew I could do it, and I brought it home. Ozzy Osbourne, R.I.P. And there is a tie-in to the Bite Me listeners. But let's get into some comments now. Some topics now. Really appreciate you guys joining us as always. We'll get you some updates on things that are going on. But before we get to the petition that I just posted via Carrie Scruggs, Dean's Better Half, on our group page, which I highly, highly, highly encourage you all signing, or at least reading. I got to get to iCast, man. We had a lot of, I think Camille was there. Mark Nichols was there. Bates was there. All our friends were there. I believe pretty much everybody that we, support and enjoy having on the podcast was at iCast in 2025, including one Caleb McCumber. Before I get into some specifics, there is, some legitimate news that comes out of iCast every year, Caleb, and I put it on the doc. Is there anything that you saw that might kind of reshape some of the things that we do here as fishermen, as outdoorsmen, et cetera, that really jumped out to you?
Man, I got stories for you and everything.
Let's go. We got all day. I like digging in.
But oddly enough, the coolest item I saw there that's affordable, that people can afford. Power Pole made a stainless prop for a trolling motor that cuts grass, and it's awesome, but it costs $550. So, that is what it is. Bates is releasing a 150 size reel that's just barely, like the frame is just barely bigger than the hundo they have now. I think that thing's gonna be a game changer. Today, Shimano raised. Shimano got more expensive. I think like 30% across the board, and so now like the Bates reel, which I think honestly deserves to be more expensive than Shimano, it's right in line with everything. So, but the coolest product I saw there, oddly enough, and you got to understand, this thing's like 15 acres. It's huge. If you walk through it twice in a day, I'm impressed. But it killed me just to walk from one turtle boxes on one side, baits on the other side, and it whooped me just to walk back and forth across it. Yeah. But the coolest thing that I saw, put my hands on, came from 30 miles down the road at Line Cutters. Their new pliers are slick. Like, you can cut your line and cut the knot off of your jig head and all that stuff without taking the pliers out of the sheath, which I thought was pretty awesome. But you left out one important person that was there that you forgot was there, and he ties right into a story, and he doesn't know this story yet. But I'm gonna tell him that he's gonna learn this story on here.
Okay.
So I hooked up with the Guggen Squad while we were out there, and the Guggen Squad, they're freshwater guys. Like their group channel has like 1 million subscribers, and then each individual guy, 1.8 million. Big time guys. I'm an absolute peon compared to these guys. And we all went barramundi fishing, right? As we're coming back from barramundi fishing, I'm walking with one of the Guggens, and nobody there has recognized them yet. There's been no, hey, can you sign my my titty? None of that stuff. And I'm meandering out to my car, and in the distance I hear Captain Caleb. And I looked over and I recognized him, but I didn't play it that way. I told the Guggens, I was like, y'all give me a minute. I need to go shake this man's hand.
Got another fan here. Here.
Yeah, I got a fan here. Y'all don't, huh? Weird, right? And so I walked over there and I talked to him, and kind of did the thing and shook his hand and walked off. And then I told those guys, I said, man, wouldn't it be nice just once to get to go out and just fish and enjoy yourself without being recognized? Good Lord, the fans, man, they're crazy. But it was Michael Akrulik from Knock and Tell.
Of course, our guy Michael.
Man, Mike, I used you, dude. I used you. I had to flex on them boys a little bit. But,
and you're like, oh, that's right. You guys went out and didn't get recognized, but I did.
Yeah, man, it's tough. I mean, geez, Pete, and get around here. But iCast is freaking awesome. And it used to be iCast was all about sales, because the thing I love about it is it's not crowded. You don't go there without, quote, being invited. You get sent by a company or something like that. And so, Bill Dance, Jimmy Houston, Jake Lawrence, Jake Wheeler, which I posted up a picture with Jake Lawrence, and I got like 4 likes or something. And just like me, I didn't have any idea who he was either, but he's the number 2 bass fisherman in the world right now. And I'm sitting there watching like a line of people waiting to meet him, but everybody's just chilling, hanging out. There's not really a big crowd there. But now it's more like a marketing and networking thing, and it was awesome. Angler, you made some deals with CCA that I'm gonna be talking about probably next year. The baits booth was just busted full of people. The turtle box booth was busted full of people. It was awesome. I don't think I could miss it again.
I know Seagar was there, DOA was there. Obviously, you mentioned Bates, CCA. And then the big thing, and Dean, I don't know if you've ever been there. I wanted to ask you about this. Is like the industry changes because of iCast. The industry is affected, and there are things. The kayak industry exploded because of iCast. Back in the day, when you were first getting kayaks, you were just getting regular old kayaks, right?
Well, I mean, it exploded along with a lot of avenues. iCast, of course, is a place to expose products to the industry. So, I mean, it's hard to give them credit for that on their own. But, and now, man, I've actually been invited to iCast, but I have never gone. Man, I mean, I don't want to say what I'm thinking, but I usually just stay home and fish. I've never been, a big product pusher, been involved with a lot of products. And I'm sure it would be fun to see. I might go someday and rub elbows with those guys, but I've just never pulled the trigger and went and did it.
If you're just going to look at stuff, I think you can do that on Instagram. I don't think it's worth the price to get out there and do all that stuff. Obviously I work with Bates, but Bates didn't really take me out there to sell reels. But the guy that owns Bates is just a excellent human being, and he's like, man, I'm gonna take you out there, spend a couple hours in the booth doing your thing, but I'm gonna give you the opportunity to network with people. I spent an entire day with Mike Herring from Mainstream Marketing. He walked around and introduced me to some people. And I'm not gonna say it out loud on the show, but I was very surprised to learn that this podcast right here is very well thought of a very big company for being guys that help them sell stuff. I had no idea that we had a national reach like we did. That was really cool. But even more cool than that, man, 4 days of flipping docks for snook.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell y'all what. I lost 3 that were like in the 40 range. Obviously, I didn't get to measure them, but I caught one that was 28, and that thing was like pulling on a 55-gallon drum full of rocks.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
a powerful fish. And so I got this talking to. I was fishing with Mark Nichols from DOA, and he said, "Look, when you catch that fish, if he's going to run back in the docks, you're not gonna be able to get him out. You just open your bell. We were throwing spinners. You just open your bell, and the cool thing about snook is you give them a minute to chill out, and they'll swim right back to where you caught them. You'll be able to get them out." He didn't tell me he had 0.3 seconds to make this decision. I experienced the manatee thing.
Oh yeah,
Dean, I get it, bro.
Yeah. You ever been in a water stampede? Now you have.
Dude, well, they didn't get us like they got you. I watched them. And then Mark drives, I think he has an 18-foot Maverick. Those things make that pole and skiff look tiny. Like, I didn't give them credit for how big. I've seen like little ones, that live in the cage at SeaWorld. A full-grown man one, holy crap. And so me and Mark are fishing like this lagoon, and the middle of it just explodes. And I was like, what the hell was that? And Mark said those were manatees. I was like, oh yeah, okay, I get it. That's what Dean. And then we went out of the lagoon and we went down this outside bank. We were gone about 20 minutes. And then we come back and we cross the mouth of this lagoon. And in the lagoon is like, 20-year-old dude on his paddle board, and he got his girlfriend. She's sitting Indian style on the front of it, and they're having a nice day on the lagoon. And I told Mark, I said, power pole down. I gotta watch. I gotta see. Unfortunately, the manatees had left the middle of the lagoon. It turns out they were under the mangroves mating, and that's
fun.
That's quite the sight. But what really got me was like a dad and his like 10-year-old and his 12-year-old kid sitting there with their hands on the tip, and they're like getting like the Nature Channel education dad, but
like man, that manatee got his pink thing.
He's got his pink thing.
Yeah, what's that pink thing on that manatee?
Well, Dean, you should have heard Mark Nichols narrating it. I couldn't film it because none of this could go on live. But man, what an experience, Stuart, Florida. I've already done the math. It's cheaper to go there and fish than it is for me to go to South Padre. Dude, I'm like once every 5 weeks I'm going back. This is I don't even want to fish here anymore. I don't even know if I like redfish anymore.
You got
it's amazing. I get it, man. We did, the snook fishing all through the Everglades, and the coolest thing about fishing around the mangrove roots is you lock down the drag and fish with some really heavy line. And man, when it sets the hook, I mean, it is rod breaking hook sets.
It's sheer panic is what it is.
And they come up on top, the shake, the power. It's an amazing fish. I mean, it is. Once you get the fever for that, it never leaves you.
Well, I know somebody who got it.
Mark gave me the "don't worry about it, I've got a camera guy" thing, which ended up being I got a buddy that has watched a video before, and I got to put it together. I sight casted an iguana that was sitting on the base of a palm tree. It was one of them great big like 3-footers, and I couldn't help myself. And I flipped up in front of him. And he saw a lure and he pinned it down with both hands. I'm like, oh, I'm about to get him. And then he started licking it like head to tail, just big, long, slow licks. But then the funnier part is Mark Nichols is like, man, Scott and Dean are screwed in that accuracy contest. You just casted a lizard on a tree.
Oh yeah, that's good practice.
but man, oh boy, those snook are so cool. And the thing like I posted online where they hold on to your thumb until they're ready to leave.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I want to pet one. Like those things it was really cool. iCast was awesome. The little hottie Instagram chicks are walking around everywhere. And the most awkward moment I had at iCast was when this dude was like, hey man, you should sign up for my wife's OnlyFans. And I was like, that just got weird.
That is very weird.
It just got weird. And he's like, oh man, I mean, I said that. I'm pretty sure I said this just got weird. And he's like, oh man, we done bought a farm with that thing. And I don't even know what his wife looks like. It was just like walking around just soliciting, like, hey, you want the link?
Yeah.
Well, you should have asked him first. You got any pictures?
Yeah. I want to see what I'm buying here. I want to see what I'm buying.
And then another takeaway was I was surprised. They have after parties every night. Companies host after parties, and line cutters blew Costa out of the water, and I can't wrap my head around it.
Really?
Line cutters rented out Howl at the Moon. It was this huge party. We went to both, but I don't know what they're doing down there in West Columbia, but they got it going on. Apparently, they were throwing knives. They were throwing knives at each other, like at the board. Like, I'm not gonna. You be still. I'm not gonna hit you in the head. It was wild.
I should guess. I would say so. Did you hold the board at any point?
Dude, I was sitting at the table behind the board, and I cleared the facility. I got out of that area. Totaled a rental car within 4 hours of showing up to iCast. Some people in Orlando can't drive for nothing.
You totaled a rental car?
Well, I mean, I didn't. The other car did.
According to you.
Well, I mean, according to the cop, it was nobody's fault, but he's full of shit.
You crashed a car, and this is the first time we're hearing about
Yes.
that?
Y'all didn't get the pictures?
I didn't see those. I saw the other ones you were talking about.
Oh, yeah. Some teeny bopper and a hot rod banana yellow Mustang just took the front end off of a RAV4 or something. I don't know what that thing was, but yeah, I'm still waiting on that phone call from Budget, but whatever.
Yeah. So snook fishing, you got the bug.
Man, I tell you what, and I feel like I'm pretty good at fishing, and I could hang with the guys. You know, I had 2 28s and broke off some big ones. Andrew was with me. He caught a 41.5 and a 38. But what I'm leading up to is these dudes can take that DOA shrimp, like the quarter ounce one, and they can skip that sucker 30 yards under stuff.
And they go underneath the mangroves.
Underneath the mangroves, underneath the docks. There were more fish hanging under the docks than anywhere in this particular trip. And these dudes, I mean, they can throw it between 5 or 6 different sets of legs, and I figured out. But I'm gonna bring that tactic home, and I'm gonna use it to fish the rivers around here. I mean, slinging it up in the shade. There's fish up in there, but yeah, those guys out there, they can fish. And
see, that's what this podcast is for. The other things that iCast that I wanted to bounce off of you guys, Dean, some of the things that I saw from sitting here watching Instagram and Facebook and all that is floating sunglasses were released. You know, they always do awards too, like best new this, you know, whatever. I get apparently Hobie and maybe some others, but I saw Hobie. They recycled some old kayaks and they make floating sunglasses. Why haven't we thought of that before? That's one. I want to see which ones jump out at you. A jet-powered kayak. There was a jet-powered kayak by Native Watercraft that was introduced at iCast this year. And this is the one that take my money. It's one of those take my money kind of things. Gloves that the fingertips are covered. You know, it's a complete glove, but they're touchscreen fingertips, so you can hit your phone. That to me was badass.
Okay, well, all 3 of those things have already been done. There have been floating sunglasses in the past. I don't remember who it was. The Malachi was a jet-powered kayak that's been around for years. And I have hunting gloves that you can scroll your phone with. So,
all right.
Yeah.
All right.
One more.
I mean, I hate to.
No, that's why I wanted to bounce it off.
But I mean, those have all been out there in the past, but there's always innovations. There's always a better way to what the new mousetrap. What is it? What's the saying that goes up? Build a better mousetrap.
Yeah.
They were saying that this iCast was they called it like the knockoff iCast or something. Because I mean, everybody's copying each other. But no, one other thing I forgot about is when we got there Tuesday night, Buddy from Bates, he says, we're gonna go out to eat with the dude that how did he word it? Sells all the Coke in Mexico. And I was like, yeah.
All of it?
All of it.
I thought that was a Miami thing, but I'm down. It turns out he owns a distributorship for Coca-Cola.
There you go.
It wasn't as exciting as I thought it was going to be.
Thank goodness.
When the car got wrecked, they had just dropped everybody off. What we were doing was pond hopping around Orlando and fishing bass ponds at night. And it was the entire Mexico team for Bates was in the truck or in the car. And we had just dropped them off at the hotel.
And a case of Coke.
Yeah. We had just dropped them off the hotel when it happened. And I was like, man, that worked out because y'all come out of there with them accents. Y'all have been drove straight to Mar-a-Lago. Like,
that's true. This is true. This is absolutely true. I think you're probably right. Anything else before we move on to another very important topic here that, you said it was kind of a knockoff iCast. Which one Was there anything new, I should say, that really jumped out at you that you're like, okay, maybe you can take my money on that?
I mean, again, the line cutters, pliers, the Baits 150 reel is going to be huge. Baits coming out with the spinner. That's a pretty nice reel. Honestly, a lot of the stuff that was there had already been introduced in some way or the other. Because I mean, it's not that iCast is like a big coming out party. Is they bring in people from all over the world to buy the stuff for their stores and whatnot, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I nerded out on this doesn't mean anything to y'all, but that is like this aluminum aerodynamic rod rack that goes on the top of your SUV truck, whatever. I got into that because Steve's really tired of getting hooks in him from all the stuff in my seat. But now, I mean, other than that, and again, I'm telling you, like just going and strolling around and taking the sights in, it's not really a thing out there. You don't have the stamina.
Yeah.
I think Mike Butler from Anglers was out there, and they were there 2 days, and I doubt they covered everything.
Yeah. Did the OnlyFans girls have stamina?
Well, so you see, what happened was is several of them came out with us, and I'm not saying I had a chance with them, but I'm saying that I said I got to go to the restroom about 11:30 and called an Uber in case I did.
The old Irish goodbye.
Yeah, just see ya.
And so anybody having a real chance with the OnlyFans is just like going to the Colorado and Houston. Of course, you walk out of there. It's like, man, she really liked me. She really liked me. She told me.
And she's going to junior college.
I had a chance.
That's right.
Yes, her name is Destiny.
But she's going to junior college. She's trying to make something of herself.
Well, I mean, dude, she could have been into dudes with half gray beards and love handles. You don't know. All the chicks on Instagram say they're into dad bods, and I think they mean it.
Everyone has a type.
Yeah.
I should open an OnlyFans.
You gotta believe
they were all my type.
All right, we're gonna get to this right now because it's a shout out to, as I mentioned earlier, Dean's better half, and that would be Carrie Scruggs, who put together this. You can see it right now if you're with us on YouTube. I just posted it on the Bite Me group page again, which is on Facebook, and I would encourage you to look at it. But basically, it's a petition because this thing is heating up. And Dean, this is where I'm going to lean on you right out of the chute here. Things are heating up, and people are heating up about the desalination plant, not just down south all the way, but obviously Redfish Bay as well. And
regardless of the end result, people should make their voices heard. It's too easy to sit back and say, I should do that. I went through it. I signed the petition. It took 1 minute. It's really not that hard to do that. But people should make their voice heard. I am so glad to see the people showing up at the city council meetings in Corpus Christi and just bombarding the microphone to make those people sit for an hour or 2 hours and just repeatedly listen to person after person that walks up to the microphone and speaks their piece about this. Even if you repeat exactly what the person in line in front of you said, it makes them listen. And if we aren't out there raising our voices, expressing our concerns, then you just get steamrolled over. It happens too often, too fast, and this one is too big to let it slide. I mean, I've already witnessed the degradation of the flats due to the Port of Corpus Christi tanker traffic, dredging the channel, and everything that's taking place out there. So take a minute, sign the petition, let people know that you're listening, you're watching, you have cares, you have concerns, and what it may do, I mean, there's going to be a desalination plant. This horrible drought that South Texas is in has sped up the talking process, the permitting process. No doubt there is a need. Without water, we don't survive. But how it's built, how it affects the ultra long-term life of the bays. I mean, we're not talking about 5 or 10 or 20 years. This is repercussions that will be 50 years on the bays. So make your voice heard, take a minute, sign it. It's easy. Any chance, I can link something up on where you can send a short letter, send a note, try to participate. It's what we all live for. It's what we love to do, and take a moment.
Yeah, the one thing on that change.org, don't donate money to it though, because that doesn't go towards the cause. It goes towards change.org.
No, and at the bottom of that, it'll tell you that to donate money, this and that. You don't have to sign the petition.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
I'm glad
help
you brought
anything.
that up. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. And you can share it on every platform right there. We have 11,200 members on the Bite Me group page. If we get 1,000, and I'm hoping for 4,000 or 5,000, if we get 1,000 is a magic number on these things. People pay attention to 1,000. And Dean, I've dug in on this a lot more since we started talking about it about a month ago. And I understand what you're saying, and I understand the need, and I understand that maybe we're just beating our head against the wall. But one thing that is possible out there is just getting them to rethink of how they discharge. How they discharge some of this.
Yeah. Well,
it's
the intake and the output on where the water goes. If they're sucking water from inside the bays, every creature, larvae, anything that is swimming, hundreds of millions of gallons of water per day will be drawn in, and what comes out is sterile. Nothing comes out swimming on the other end. So they're at the process where they're still planning, they're still designing, engineering, and there's pipelines that exist that are abandoned, that are under the Gulf, that could be turned into, they don't even have to build. There's options to not build a new pipeline. There are pipelines out there that could be utilized. And so there are options, and hopefully with enough people and motivation, we can make them think about the process.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we know where Caleb was, so I'm going to return to you again, Dean, because one of the things we usually start the show with this, but we had other things popping. Weird week, a couple of weeks fishing, real droughts, so to speak, finding fish, and then you would find fish on a certain day. So where you were, how you did, and what you noticed, at least down south, and we'll get some other information as well as we get it.
Man, the last 2 weeks have made me work and think, and it has not been quick and easy, but day after day, we've been grinding them out, and the rhythm of the last 2 weeks have been very interesting. It's the dog days of summer. It's just hot. Wind. This wind is ridiculous. The wind that just won't quit into July, 20-mile-an-hour wind still. It's like March and April. It just, at the crack of dawn, it's windy. So it's churning up. A lot of the big bay is muddy. It's really off color. A lot of the places that when the ultra shallow flats get super hot, I fall back to those edges, fishing in 4 to 6 feet of water. The direction of the wind, it's been blowing like due south. And Redfish Bay really does kind of prefer a little east wind. You get a due east wind, which is usually once we get some tropical activity in the Gulf, when it really shifts the winds around. Due east, I love it. It just opens doors for so much opportunity for drop-offs and shorelines that are favorable, and then it just cleans the water up dramatically. So those edges, those drop-offs that have been inaccessible, and then the days you can get there, the water was so trashed from the wind and a lot of floating grass, and then there was a lot of low tide, so it pulled me off of a lot of the flats that I like to spend most of my days on, and just really exploring, working hard, hitting a lot of spots, grinding them out, and still, getting the payoff. It's been 1 or 2 or 3 big fish has been a great day lately. The last couple, it's coming back around though. The last couple of days have been great, but we're coming up on the new moon, and the wind has been really great for drifting. Today was super cloudy, so it stayed cloudy all day or until we were out until noon, and it was very pleasant to be out there. But the thing about 2 bad weeks is there's always going to be 2 more weeks ahead of you.
Yep.
And things change, the tide changes. Today, the tide came up higher than it has been in the last 2 weeks. So I know that there's a little thing that's supposedly moving into the Gulf from somewhere. I haven't investigated it much. I don't think that's what was pushing our tide in today. Maybe it is a little bit, but the last 2 days, things started to really swing back into my favor.
All right. And so that ties in with another topic. And Caleb, I want to get your thoughts on this, what you're hearing on Middle Coast, even though you were at iCast. But Dean mentioned this the other day when I was fishing with him. He said, make that a topic. And I am. And it ties in. If you're hearing, number one, Caleb, if you're hearing anything on Middle Coast, where they were, how they did, what you noticed. But this is the topic. Sometimes on the bad days, they can be good for you, because Dean was talking about it pushes yourself, even hardened veteran fishermen like you guys, to a new level of trying to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and I've already been back on the water. We had a really good day yesterday.
Okay.
But it was an hour before dark. An hour before dark, it broke loose in about 2 feet of water, and top waters worked aggressively. We're just getting smoked. But man, yeah, bad days. I don't know if they help you. They help you appreciate the good ones a heck of a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
But I think whenever your go-to spots, every one of us got like 7 or 8 that we're going to cycle through.
Mm-hmm.
When none of those are working, then you start having to go check out something maybe you fished 20 years ago, or maybe you've never fished, and you learn a lot about that area, and that could cycle in and replace one of your seven or 8 little spots in your circle. I mean, Dean knows 200. I know 200, but there's 7 or 8 in our little
your routine.
Whatever you call it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, for instance, the fishing's been kind of tough in Matagorda, and that pushed me to stuff I was running all the way to Port O'Connor just to find something different,
mm-hmm.
and learning a lot about what was going on. Those schools that you see on Facebook over there, they're not popping up every day. They're not as what's the word, consistent as
mm-hmm.
social media allows them to be. So now I've learned, what they do around the moon phases, and what they do on a strong tide versus a kind of strong tide, and yeah, you pick up stuff like that. A bad day of fishing doesn't have to be a bad day of your fishing career if you choose to observe and take in what didn't work.
Exactly. And Dean, I saw it on your face, that second day that we went out. And that's when you were talking about, pushing yourself to a new level. I could tell on your face, you were like, I've got to refocus. You know what I mean? And maybe it's just going back to the basics, or maybe it's kind of more of what Caleb's talking about.
And it was beyond going back to the basics, because had gone back to the basics a couple of times, and I'm like, man, this ain't working. So what it really gets me to do is get more creative and really explore a little further, go way back in the memory banks of places that I've kind of given up on for a while, mm-hmm. and explore those. But I mean, across the board, there's days when a different spot is not going to change the fish. They mm-hmm. And I mean, I got a pretty good network that I keep in touch with, which is interesting to compare notes with people at the end of the day of how did you do? How did that work out? And then there's days whenever just nobody is getting them. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of the rhythm of Mother Nature out there that doesn't go, but there's days whenever I'm headed out of the marina, I know exactly where I'm going, man. I got my day kind of laid out for me. It really was not like that. I mean, I would pull out of the marina until I had to hit the throttle. I didn't know where I was going. But at that point, I mean, you have to finally make a decision. But I was getting more creative and branching out, running a lot further, doing a lot more boat riding than I normally do. I mean, right outside the door here, Redfish Bay, we got some of the most amazing, beautiful opportunity within 10 minutes of the marina. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I was running to the edges of Corpus Christi Bay, along the ship channel, the places that before the dredging and a lot of the stuff that took place out there was some And the tanker traffic never used to be what it is, but some amazing speckled trout summertime fishing out there. So went and explored all of those. Went to like around Shamrock, East Flats, across the ship channel. And there was actually a couple days where the wind was calm enough to do that. That's another problem. If the wind's blowing 20 to 25, going across, the ship channel into Corpus Christi Bay, man, it's I'll do it. Like if I had you and Caleb on there, I'd beat the crap out of y'all on that boat with zero mercy. But for a lot of the folks that are down, they're not up for that kind of a beating on the boat. And plus here at the end of summer, a lot of kid trips because school's about to start. Grandpa's bringing grandsons and kids want to go fishing. So you kind of got to work within those limitations as well.
Dean, you've talked up AP and Rockport a little bit too much.
What?
I got bad news for you, dude. Me and Pat Gardner about to have a house and a boat barn on the water there in Rockport. So we may become the regulars.
Oh, do tell. What's going on?
Well,
join the club.
I mean, in my typical Muchin fashion, Pat's mom's buying a place on the water there in Rockport, and I told Pat, I said, man, I'm sure it would be cool if we had keys to that place. He said, keys? We got our own bedrooms. I said, oh yeah.
Okay. Hold on.
So
I've known her for 35 years. So there's going to be a little bit of something happening here in terms of access if I need that stuff.
Don't you be trying to get my bedroom, John?
I'm surprised Caleb hadn't went over there and Jimmy DeLock on the RV. In John's place.
On the kennel as we call it.
Hey, I need you to show me where it is Sunday night, Dean. I need a place to stay Sunday night for when I fish with you Monday.
I'll tell you where the key is.
I mean, I got a place for you to stay. I still got my my apartment above the shop. And that's another thing that, I mean, I might as well drop a bomb here today. The shop has this amazing apartment upstairs, boat parking, easy access, and it's been on the market with 0 inquiries. So it's fixing to become a rental.
How about that? That's great.
Do I have to rent it? Are you gonna tell me after I stay in there for a night?
That's the point I was trying to make.
Have you considered the fact that I might be rummaging around like a little coon in your tackle shop downstairs?
Not only are you going to be crowding up my honey hole out there, now you need a place to stay. You think you'd be a little more generous.
Does it have a mini fridge?
It's got a full size fridge.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, I'll stay there.
Okay, I'll stay there.
I lived up there for almost 2 years before we moved to where we're at now. So
good water pressure.
It is set up, man. I mean,
good
parking lot.
Yeah, good water pressure. Good water pressure.
Of course, amazing.
Oh yeah, no, I'll stay there. We're good.
It's got a shower on the wall outside.
Worry no more, Dean. I'll use it.
It's got an outdoor shower for folks. It
has a pond and a pool. The pond will be good for you. The pond will be good for you. We'll finish the thought, Dean. If you're ready to go, share the details and what you're going to be, where they can find it, etc.
Well, just call me, message me. Right now it is a 1-bedroom, but I'm in the process of setting up a 2nd bedroom downstairs to have, 2 to 4 people can stay there. Mm-hmm. It's set up for 2 people. It's absolutely amazing. It's perfect right now. Mm-hmm. But I gotta get the Wi-Fi in there and stuff like that. Just a few things. But as far as furnishings, air conditioner, water, fridge, stove,
let's go.
I mean, it's ready to walk in.
Does it have Wi-Fi?
It does. I took the Wi-Fi out whenever we moved out. I just got to get it turned back on.
All right, we're gonna have to get it because Destiny really doesn't like it when I don't check my notifications.
Still with Destiny.
You get the Wi-Fi set up and you got a place to stay.
Bam.
There you go. There you go. Bingo. All right. Let's talk about water. Caleb's so excited.
It's a give and take situation.
Yeah, he's so excited. Let's talk about water temps. And this comes from, we had one question, and then I had a discussion with Dean a couple of weeks ago about water temps, and not just that they're rising, but what you're throwing these days. Because I think I asked you, Dean, I was like, they're really hitting the top waters right now on the flats, because you can throw top waters year round, and hell, I caught a trout this past week on in the shallows on a top water, but it was few and far between. And I brought up the question is about top water season, and by that I mean where it's really good to throw top waters, but with shallow water or even deeper water like you, Caleb, whenever you want to weigh in, does the water temps affect what you're throwing, especially top water wise?
Yes. And the paddle tail weedless has been catching more fish. The last 2 days, the top water bite came around pretty good. Yesterday, I had one of the most dramatic top water blow ups I think I've ever seen in my life. Redfish 2 feet away from the lure, out of the water, pounces on it. It was one of the most amazing things. So I'm hoping that action's coming back around. But for the previous 2 weeks before that, the majority of the fish have hit paddle tails, touching the grass, ticking the grass, dropping them on the grass, picking them up. And it's been a super lazy, slow bite. They're not coming from 5 and 6 or 10 feet away to destroy the thing. And a lot of them, you're just rolling it. The cool thing about the paddle tail is you can cast it and just roll it in, and the tail is doing all the work. And the one that did me best was the K-Wig, the Truth. It's like purple and silver. Purple and white. Well, and it's got silver flake in it, purple and silver. But the Truth was but it looks so much like a mullet. I mean, it's got a real natural color to it, white on bottom, darkish on top, little silver flake mixed in it. Nothing real dramatic, nothing flamboyant about it. But I use a 5/0 hook. I like a big wide gap hook because I had the tip of the hook, because we deal with so much grass. So I like the wide gap. So whenever the fish hits it, it gets exposed. It has a lot of space to grab. So slow rolling the paddle tail through the sand holes. And I mean, if it wasn't ticking the grass, it just wasn't going to get hit. I mean, it was, but the paddle tail does all the work. It's as simple as throwing it, retrieving it, and it's just wiggling and swimming. And, but slow and low was getting hit more than the noise and running a top water.
How about where you are, oyster shell, deeper water, Caleb? We talk about you can throw it year round, and we do, but is there quote unquote a season with the temps?
To me, the top water there are definitely seasons for different stuff. Top waters, I like it to be like 75 or better for some consistency. 80 or better is even more. Yesterday the water was 89.8 at dark, and I was working it like a madman, and they were eating it. I haven't been here for the last 2 weeks, so I'm not going to argue with what Dean's saying whatsoever.
But your water's deeper.
I mean, yes and no. I drive across deeper water to get where I fish at. I don't drift the middle of East Bay if I'm drifting the middle of East Bay, everything else went wrong. I was like in 2 feet of water yesterday or something like that. That being said, I could probably take some pointers from other guys, because Pat and those guys, they'll go throw top waters and 4 or 5 feet of water in the middle of the bay in Matagorda. That's not really my game. I'm right there with Dean. I want a paddle tail. I want it down on bottom. I want it ticking stuff and all of that. I will say, lining right up with what Dean said, however, was yesterday, and we were in West Galveston, so the water wasn't real clear, so I couldn't see the fish in particular, but I could kind of see the water acting a little bit different where the fish are at, or maybe I see a mud bowl, and if I didn't put it right on top of it, they weren't coming to get it. I had to bring it right over the top of one to get them to. There was no.
You're talking top water.
Yeah, there was no running 5 or 6 feet, and if I can't pull them to a top water, I really don't think I can pull them to a paddle tail right now.
Yeah.
And so then not to mention the fish that, like at midday, when the sun's overhead and you can clearly see every sand hole that you drift up to, a lot of small speckled trout scurrying out of those holes. And then redfish that were cruising that just wouldn't even spook from the boat. I mean,
Dude, I saw so much of that. You just described my Sunday.
Yeah, and you can tell everybody about your weekend too. I mean, you were right there in line with what I was seeing for a couple of days. But early in the morning, you're blind casting. Early morning has still been lively mullet, but it is a short-lived action. I mean, it's less than an hour from daylight, and we've been getting out early, man. I mean, I've been rolling out of the marina promptly 6 a.m. And if we're a little early, I mean, I want to be there. And the days are getting a little bit shorter. Where we were on the water at 6, we had good daylight. I mean, we're past the middle of summer. The days are slowly getting shorter every day that goes by. So at 6 a.m., I mean, it's barely cracking light out there on the horizon. But so you're not seeing those things. We're throwing at mullet, we're throwing at bait. But at midday or after the first hour, the surface is dead. You won't see a jumping mullet. You don't see nervous water. They're still there. They're just laid up. But as the sun comes up, 10 to 11, 12 o'clock, and you're looking down in the water, you can see every sand hole you drift on. You're just blowing fish out of it. And then the reds that were cruising would not even spook from the boat. They wouldn't turn on a lure. Zero interest, but they're laid up in the grass. And I don't think they were moving until the boat actually pushed them. And even when they got pushed, it wasn't a big mud stir. It wasn't a big boom and a torpedo heading out of
casually,
there. It was just, I'm just going to swim over here and lay back down again as soon as you guys get out of the way. So kind of lazy, but coming up on the new moon, and based on what I saw the last 2 days, I'm hoping everything is turning back in our direction.
But that also speaks to the bite is just not, they're just not aggressive. I mean, you got to get there at the exact right time.
And the next 7 days forecast is hot and wind. It's during in the next couple of days, it's going to be less than 20, but there's no zero wind that you expect. Certainly, I mean, we should be out there catching kingfish. I should be trolling at the jetties. I break up the monotony of the ultra hot days of July and August with a lot of jetty fishing. Hasn't even been an option. I mean, not even foolish enough to go, hey, let's make a run at this and then get turned back. So it has kept me from even attempting that.
But what about the bite, Caleb? Because the bite, you said it. You had to put it right on their noses, which we talk about a lot. We're talking about, and I saw. I mean, it's uncanny. I saw exactly what Dean was describing multiple times. Cruising over, drifting over a sand hole. There's 2 trout just sort of swimming by. Redfish that circled my boat damn near all the way around, just swimming, just enjoying the water. But that speaks to the bite is not going to happen.
Yeah, they're just kind of in zombie mode, just rolling. Like it's got to be super duper easy for them. And we always joke about how I don't get on the water till 9. I'm on the water at daylight right now. When it's this hot, I'm on the water at daylight. About 10 is probably time to get off. And then we got in the boat yesterday at 5 and really didn't even start fishing hard till 6:30, 6:45. It's a couple hours after daylight, a couple hours before dark. Other than that, they're just kind of cruising. Now, can you still catch them? Heck yes. But yeah, we're in this time. We're in the time when the stupid wind needs to quit blowing, so the surf will get flat and go get those fish that are happy and having a good time. But
maybe that's why
they look like anymore.
Yeah, maybe that's why the frustration level has been so high. And I've seen guys catch fish. We were coming in the other day, and I saw some guys cleaning some fish on the table, and it looked like there was a decent enough stack of fish. But it's few and far between, and maybe that's it, Dean. We're so used to being out there, throwing, on the rocks and catching trout or whatever it may be, or cruising for kingfish. We just haven't had the opportunity to get out there. None of us are weathermen, but it's got to change at some point.
Yeah, story of my life. This has got to get better. Something has got to happen here. Yes, all of that combined, I've been kind of pinned to kind of restricted in my opportunities from the wind direction, from the big strong wind that hasn't let me get to the drop-offs and all of that. I have been deeper flats, different flats, and just explore. And really, I've even told people on mornings whenever I set up a good long drift, I tell them it's like, I'm going to try to be patient. I'm like, we're going to let this thing drift to the other side, because there's just no big advantage to cranking up and running and moving. The advantage has really been being patient, casting at every sand hole. And every sand hole out there is created equally. I mean, there's no, these area is, you know, typically, are you expected to be better? So we've been covering massive amounts of areas. And then there's days, you know, I'll put just one drift sock and I'll tell them, it's like, we're going to be moving fast. So we do cover more quicker. And then if we see something, then I throw the pole down and then park the boat there and then be more methodical and then pick up and then start driving. So mixing up a lot of those options and just trying to figure it out.
See, you just hit it. I mean, these are all great points for our listeners to kind of bank and use as they get out on the water. You asked me what I was doing this weekend. First time ever, and it warmed the old heart, man. I took my 1.5-year-old granddaughter, Penny, out on the boat. First time she had her life jacket on. I swear, hand to God, every time we stopped, she would waddle to the back of the boat, pull a rod out of the rod holder, like, let's go. This is the spot, let's go. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And we're all watching her. And a couple of times she tried to throw a whole rod into that was her version of casting. She would try to throw the whole rod into the water. And I'm like, no, that's $900.
I can't believe you got a 1-year-old out there trying to teach her how to cast already.
I wasn't. She did it on her own. She said that, like I said, it warmed the old heart. And it is funny. And I wasn't going to mention this, but I'm always, try to be fully transparent. The only rod that she twice tried to throw in the water had the popping cork on it. So maybe she's a purist.
Well, that's what she was used to seeing people using.
Well, that's what the kids are. The monkey see, monkey do. They repeat their grandpa, their monkey grandpa.
I have 4. You know this. I keep 4 rods loaded, locked and loaded. Top water, plastic, popping cork, and usually I alternate with a Lily or something that's a little deeper diving. And she always tried to throw the popping cork rod into the water. It's like, oh no, not that one.
That's my favorite one.
But that works. It works in times like this to kind of wake them up a little bit. But all right, we kind of have done a little bit of a what would Dean do and what would Caleb do. But I do want to kind of open it up to something that you brought up before the show, Caleb. That's really, really cool that our friend Mike is doing over at Anglers Anonymous. Explain that for us a little bit.
Well, different Mike Ashworth.
Okay. It was Mike Ashworth.
Mike Ashworth. Yeah. I've been teasing a we're doing something, and the we was me and Mike. I just had to, I kept the we pretty vague because I didn't want any cease and desist orders sent to the right people. But we've built a map GPS card. Mike spent probably 1.5 years staring at a computer. The resolution is better than what I have in my boat right now. The way you can zoom it, we've marked the rocks in Baffin. We have the running lanes, which I want to clarify. The running lanes are like the actual running lanes. I don't have like a track marked into a crazy backlate because there's no way I'm gonna take that liability. Mm-hmm. But Mike did say that for our listeners and followers, if you go to overwatchmaps.com and enter code CCTV10, Captain Caleb TV10, get 10% off. That's $30 off the card. And the thing is we only have 100 left right now, and we are making them faster than we can get SD cards in. So if you want it, I would hurry up and go get it. But it's a heck of a good product. I want to be clear that every rock that NOAA is aware of is on there. There's probably some rocks out there that NOAA doesn't know about that your Mercury sure could find it. However,
explain what it is exactly. It's just a card you can put into your.
It's an SD card. You put it in your GPS. It works on Simrad and Lowrance. Those are the 2 best ones for it. We didn't do one for Garmin just because Garmin can't handle it. But it turns your GPS into a high-res Google Earth. is what it does.
Mhm.
And so you can see the shell that's under the water. You can see the grass lines. You can identify deeper water from shallower water. I use the heck out of I've been using the heck out of another card, and there were just things that I didn't like about it. Yeah, like that picture right there. That's what is on your GPS, so you can see the dark spots. It's the shell and all that. It just helps you navigate and get around. I mean, it's a navigational aid. I'm not going to tell you that, if you use this, there's no way you'll hit a reef, but you're a hell of a lot less likely to hit one.
Mhm.
And then I'll use them even whenever I'm floating around like a lake with dirty water or something. On the Simrad, you can find that reef on it. You can touch it, and it'll tell you that reef is 50 feet away. And I'll actually use it to cast at reefs that I can't necessarily see in the dirty water. Me and Daniel won quite a bit of money fishing around Freeport, doing just that, fishing little bitty tiny reefs I didn't even know were there. But again, it's a heck of a card. We're going to be working on a Louisiana one, but right now the Texas one has a lot of work and effort's been into it. Also, Jay Schultz brought up something good. Should also plug the fundraiser raffle that Anglers Anonymous is doing. You can go check out their Facebook page. All kinds of stuff's in there, including a trip from me, and the money is going towards helping the Scots and all those guys that are up there in Central Texas doing the Lord's work. So,
that's awesome. All I'm hearing is I won't have to be as nervous when I go into Cow Bayou anymore. That's what I'm hearing, because I was always, is this the way or is that the way? But it's legit.
Yeah, Chris Collins says maybe a dumb question, but will your tracks overlay on the map? Yes, your tracks are there. And instead of seeing that stupid just blue pastel color, your GPS is going to work just like it always does. It's going to show your tracks, going to show all that. It's just giving you a satellite image to reference where you're running.
Terrific, man. That is absolutely, certainly could come in handy for our listeners. Dean, I know you are.
I have one question for Caleb.
Yeah.
If I look at the map, am I contractually obligated to sign a non-disclosure agreement?
You don't even have to look at the map. All you have to do is think about visiting the website. And yes.
So I'm already in trouble.
Yep. Gonzo, I can't type a link into our comment. It's overwatchmaps.com. John has it. John has this thing set to communism mode where you can't put any links in there.
But so what was the original question, John? I'm sorry. I got really distracted.
Well, we were chatting the other day, and you actually have some dates that are open. I wanted to make sure people can fish with the legendary one.
Oh yeah. I mean, a lot of days. It's just a common misconception when people are like, man, I know you're all booked up. Call me. We'll make it happen. There's days available. It's just school is fixing to start. It starts early in August, and everybody goes back to family life. The waters are, uncrowded. Mondays through Wednesdays. It's a whole another planet out there. So if you're thinking about fishing, there's plenty of days available. Give me a call.
All right. So we have a homework assignment for our thousands of listeners that are nice enough to plug in on this podcast every week. Homework assignment number 1, go to the group page, sign that petition. You do not have to pay anything. Just sign that petition. It's very, very important. It might make a big enough difference that our base systems are going to remain healthy. Homework assignment number 2, overwatch.com. Homework assignment number 3, and I haven't even mentioned it today, but we are less than 2 months away now. I'm cranking up a lot of things for the Bite Me Feeding Frenzy. I got a little something up my sleeve for a special guest appearance. Can't announce it just yet, but efforting that for a special guest appearance there. And of course, you can go to the group page and you can buy some Bite Me gear, first of all, which that helps. But the main thing is you can RSVP. We're already over 200 RSVPs, so it'll only be $15 a piece to get in. But that's good. First 200 got in free. You will get an email if you're wondering about that. You'll get notice somehow. It's just $15, but you can RSVP, and we need that RSVP so we can have the right number of tables and chairs, etc. You can also buy the raffle tickets. We are at already, before we even begin the feeding frenzy, at pushing $5,000 raised for Heroes on the Water and Texas Boys Outdoors. So and you can get a $65,000 boat. if you're lucky enough. And you can buy them online. You can buy them in person, but we recommend online. So any parting thoughts? That's your homework assignment. Really appreciate you guys joining us. Caleb, you kicked ass with your iCast report.
So good.
Dean, you always kick ass. We'll find out on some of the other things as we go along, and we'll talk with Captain Scott. He should be definitely back next week, but of course we said that last week. Good on Scott for doing what he's doing. You guys have a great week, great weekend. Catch him up. We'll talk to you next time.
Hey, John, you know how